The Money Line, episode number 2. We are talking UFC Vegas 44, Font versus Aldo. I'm joined by my man, Mike Finch. What is up, brother?
What's up, AJ? What's up, MMA experts? Good to see you guys. Let's break down some fights.
Dude, I'm excited, man. Guys, smash the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe. Let us know what you think of the Money Line podcast. I'm super hyped for the second episode. Glad we're making it a consistent thing. But let's start it off. Fight number 1 is Luis Smolka versus Vince Morales. Mike, I'm going to give you the stage for this one. Let me know what you're thinking here.
Look, Luis Smolka is fun fight, by the way. I like watching Luis Smolka fights. I think this one's going to be back and forth. These guys are Smolka had a staph infection. If you guys remember, he pulled out of the was it the Sugar Sean O'Malley fight? He had to pull out, so he's coming back from a staph infection. So there's a big fucking question mark there. And these guys know each other. So Morales says he felt a little weird about it. Luis Smolka said that he felt uncomfortable with it, but he's got a house and he has to pay his bills. I think it's one of those where it's kind of when there's no bad blood, and on top of it you almost feel like you're friends. You almost feel like it's a sparring session. I think that that type of a fight is going to be tough for Smolka. Smolka, I think, has the biggest problem here is he's at a speed disadvantage, and the speed disadvantage will maybe come into play with the hands. I think that let me see the quote here from Morales. Morales was talking about the striking essentially, and he was talking about his confidence there. Look, fun fight. Both guys like to move forward. If they slug it out like I think they will, I think I'm going to go Morales. I think he'll drop him. It'll be a back and forth fight. Not sure about a finish. Let's go Morales decision on the first fight.
We're on the same on that one. I'm with you. The big thing that I feel like is also a factor is, Morales, bit underrated in the wrestling department. Smolka's got some slick jiu-jitsu. When he gets to the mat, like, he's had some nice moments. I don't think he'll have those opportunities much against Morales because offensively, I don't expect Morales to shoot a lot. I expect him to use the wrestling for defense. Striking, as you mentioned, Morales has some advantages. I think they'll mix it up inside. I think it's a close fight. Stylistically, kind of an iffy matchup. Them being training / friends, like they know each other, right? When you know somebody, that has a little edge, and I feel like Vince Morales wins a hard-fought decision. I think it's going to be close. I think Luis Smolka will have moments, but I do think Vince Morales does get it done. I'm thinking distance. Odds of this fight, you got Vince Morales, slight underdog, about plus 120, depending where you're at. I do like him to win. I do think win by decision. We're both on Vince Morales here. We're starting off with some agreement here. Usually we're starting off the opposite.
Agreement and an underdog, guys. Come on. This is where you get the good picks. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Next fight. Let's jump on up. Alex Morono, Mickey Gall. Oh my goodness. I am really excited to see this fight. Pick straight out the gate. I'm going to tell you it's Alex Morono here. I really like the striking, good pressure, Thai-esque style, unique with Morono. Nice hooks inside. Grappling game is solid as well. Mickey Gall known for his really good jiu-jitsu. I don't know. I lost a little bit of faith in his ground game when he had some problems with Mike Perry on the mat. His stand-up is decent, but not the quickest of strikers. I think Morono's got the speed edge. I expect Morono to come in there, land better strikes, potentially put Mickey Gall down and out. Morono's got that finishing ability. I'm going to go with Alex Morono TKO in the second round. Definitely could see it going the distance, but I think high pace from Morono. He'll break down Mickey Gall and get the W. Mike, what you thinking on this one?
I like that assessment. Look, Morono is coming off of that big win against Donald Cerrone. He's got some confidence in his striking for sure. I'm kind of looking at it as striker versus grappler. That's sort of how I'm seeing this fight. I don't think Mickey Gall's striking is ready for Morono. That being said, Mickey Gall, if he can get on top in this fight, can find a lot of success. I want to comment on what you said there about Mike Perry. Mike Perry is like fighting a chimpanzee or a gorilla or something. The dude just has this next level strength. It's not to we were talking about PC culture earlier, so I'm about to piss off the PC people. He has retard strength. That's what you call retard strength.
He's strong as hell.
He's strong as hell. And it was like man against boy when it was Mike Perry and Mickey Gall. This is very strange because Mickey Gall should have a big advantage on the ground against Perry. And Perry just kind of was able to hulk him. So I don't think I don't think this fight's going to play out quite like that. I do think Mickey Gall is getting better. He's still kind of young in his career. I know he's been in the UFC for a little bit, but really he just got started in the UFC too soon. If you guys remember how he got into the UFC, he finished CM Punk, which is about the easiest thing you could possibly do, but he was young in his pro career, so kind of got started a little early. I think Mickey Gall is dangerous in this one. If he can get it on the ground, I like Mickey Gall in this fight. That being said, is it worth betting on? No, I'm not going to bet on Mickey Gall. I think Mickey Gall might drop a close decision in this one, and it's definitely one I'm going to stay away from betting on.
But you're on Team Morono, but you see the possibilities. You're Team Morono, but it's like I get what you're saying. And Mickey Gall, let's be honest, young fighters, from fight to fight, they improved tenfold. When he fought Jordan Williams, he looked way better and he ran through Jordan Williams easily. I just think Morono, high level experience at this point. He's on a bit of a roll. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I like his aggressiveness. I think he wins. Not the potentially easiest of fights. Depends what Mickey Gall we get out there, but both on Morono here, just slightly different. Maybe I'm expecting a little too much out of Morono and not enough resistance from Gall. So definitely possible that we see 3 rounds between both these two.
That would make sense to me. If you're going to pick a finish, if it's going to be a finish, I'm going to go Gall with a submission, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Morono should control the striking. Defensive wrestling should be good enough. If Mickey Gall had better wrestling, we'd be having a different conversation right now. I've yet to see it.
Yeah, the wrestling of Gall, man. If he had more offensive wrestling, then that's a different fight because the jiu-jitsu from the top, very good. Odds for this one, Gall's about plus 180 for the dog. Morono in that minus 220 range. So strong favorite Morono. We both think he gets it done. Should be an intriguing fight. Now, the next one is a different bout than originally scheduled. Azamat Murzakanov takes on Jared Vanderaa at heavyweight. Originally, he's supposed to fight at light heavyweight against Felipe Lins. He now fights a monster of a man at heavyweight. Mike, what do you feel on this one, especially with this late opponent change and to just an overall different weight class, jumping up? And it's not like Azamat's a big guy at 205.
Yes, I'm going to butcher that last name. Are you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Murzakanov. Yeah.
Good. Money. Good. That's good.
Beast, bro. 10-0. Beast. I still like him in this fight. Look, he's taking too much risk. He shouldn't be going this much up in weight. This is silly. Why? Just wait to fight. I don't know. I think the UFC is taking a risk with him. They got a prospect here and they're kind of, throwing him in against a guy who outweighs him by how much?
Dude, I think Murzakanov is probably going to come in around, if he's supposed to fight at 205, so he had that initially in his mind. I'm guessing he's 225 max. You're looking at Vanderaa, who cuts to 265. Just a huge human. 6'4", 5'10". There's a lot of factors that really push me the Vanderaa side, though Murzakanov, technically, the better fighter. And that's not to be argued with. The size really scares me. What do you think, though? Who you picking here?
If it was another weight class, for instance, if it was a 170 moving up to 185, if it was a 155 moving up to 170, I actually think those are bigger jumps. Huh? What are you talking about? This guy's 265. Look at the heavyweight champions, dude. Cain Velasquez, Randy Couture. I mean, go through the list. Even Stipe is not the biggest guy in the world. They don't have to be 265. The athleticism starts to kind of tip off, and like a prime athletic human is generally, like for fighting, is generally like 210 or something like that. So, so 225. If he comes in there at 225, I think it'll be enough. I think if he gets on top, it'll be a big deal because Vanderaa has losses on the ground and especially on his back. If he puts him on his back, I think that's the key to this fight. I'm gonna stick with the with the favorite here, Azamat. I'll stick with Azamat, but damn, man, it's a big jump and he shouldn't be taking such a risk. This is a silly fight. The dude could have just waited and fought in his weight class.
I know. I don't like that he's taking this risk. I talked about this fight on the live stream last night, just kind of like giving a little bit of like an expectation, early prediction. I was kind of leading Vanderaa, watch some footage on Vanderaa. I'm not like really high on Vandeera's skills, but I look at Azamat and I'm like, this guy is fucking good. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to join you here. I'm going to go decision Azamat, but it's not a bet for me. I was originally interested in betting against him, or excuse me, betting him against Felipe Lins, but now Vanderaa, big guy, Potential underdog upset, not like the most confident play, just simply because size is a real factor. If Azamat fights with an intelligent game plan, he uses his speed advantage, closes distance. Only issue is, can he get Vanderaa to the floor? That big man. I know Azamat's definitely better with his offensive wrestling. Concerns. I'm going to go Azamat decision, but I'm nervous saying that.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Look, speed is an advantage too. Cardio is an advantage too. You know, size does matter, of course, in fighting. But you know, I really think that skill is going to overpower everything. I think speed is a huge deal. So like look at some of the history here. You know, DC Daniel Cormier could never beat John Jones at light heavyweight, but he moved up and knocked Stipe out. You know, he moved up and he owned Derek Lewis, just whooped his ass, you know? So there is a skill level difference in the heavyweight division. That's something else to consider here too. I think that, you know, the 205 division, especially a few years ago, was the most stacked. And, you know, nowadays you couldn't say that per se, specifically in the UFC, but the heavyweights have always had some openings, some holes in their games, and the light heavyweights have done pretty damn well moving up. So the track record for light heavyweights moving up to heavyweight, a lot of good examples of success.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, one recent fight comes to mind. It was Ben Rothwell taking on Ovince St. Preux, but such a different fight. They were about the same height, speed, and whatnot. And St. Preux had moments. I'm going to join you. We'll both go Azamat here. Just a little nerve wracking that he decides, hey, I'm going to fight at heavyweight. Not my natural weight class. I'm a 205er who carries a little excess fat on him anyways, but I do think skill leads the way. We'll go for the more skilled fighter. Odds for this one, of course, are going to favor Azamat. Let me pull up the exact odds because they're not on screen at the moment. For this matchup, Azamat Murzakanov, about minus 200 to plus 180. Not supremely widespread, but definitely leaning Azamat's way. We'll pick him to get it done, but note, he's moving up. Now, the next fight's interesting. It's Claudio Puelles versus Chris Gruetzemacher. I want to get your take first. A lot of people seem to have a little bit of a different view on this one. How are you feeling about this fight?
Look, Puelles is so confident in his jiu-jitsu. I've seen him pull guard, okay? He'll shoot in and he'll pull half guard. What did he do? He immediately goes to a knee bar and gets the victory. So the dude is nasty on the ground. I really like him on the ground in this fight as long as he can get it there. The big thing for him is, does he have the wrestling to be able to get the fight where he needs it? His opponent, Chris, I'm going to avoid that last name too. Chris is a little slow to me. It doesn't seem as dangerous as I would like against this jiu-jitsu guy. You know, if a jiu-jitsu guy's pulling guard on you, I need somebody who's going to rain down some Francis Ngannou bombs on his head, you know? And Chris doesn't seem like the guy for the job. I'm going to go with Claudio, the Puelles, and I'm going to go submission, man. I think he gets it done. I think he finds something and he'll get it done. Maybe even quick. I like his aggressive style of jiu-jitsu. He's a very submission heavy type of attacking guy. He wants to get you to tap. I prefer that style of jiu-jitsu because you don't take risk any longer, right? Chael Sonnen was a better grappler than Anderson Silva in round 1, 2, 3, 4, but in round 5, he gets tapped out. Oh man. Well, had he just gone for submissions, I'm not saying Chris, don't misquote me here. I'm not saying Anderson Silva is getting submitted by Chael Sonnen. What I'm saying is the type of grappler who goes and gets the finish, you take no more risk. The person taps out, the fight's over. I like that. I'm going Claudio submission.
I like that. That's a good pick. I was torn on this one. So initially, when I did the prediction video, it was last week, I was leaning Grits and I picked him there. This week, I watched a little more Puelles. I sat on the fight, and it's one of those I had to think about. And I was like, man, I can't stand by Chris Gruetzemacher. I can't give him my official pick now later in the week. He's not that great. I've been watching him since The Ultimate Fighter. There's a lot of moments on the feet where he's so hittable. He got stopped by Artem Lobov back in the day. Let's not forget. The chin is decent for Gruetzemacher. But I think Puelles, his grappling game is good, but also training at Sanford, the striking is going to be evolving at a crazy rate. Gruetzemacher is on the way out, and he beat Rafa Garcia in the last fight. He had a good fight. Rafa Garcia maybe didn't have as good of a fight. I'm going to go with you on Puelles here. I'm going to switch the pick now, but do I want to go throw the money down on it? Personally, I'm going to wait. I want to see more out of Puelles. If he goes out there and beats Chris Gruetzemacher now, we're getting a little bit of rhythm going. Beating Jordan Levitt, to me, like, it was impressive, but was it really super impressive? Jordan Levitt, we don't know enough about. You know, he went out and destroyed his UFC debut opponent, Matt Wyman. He killed him. He slammed him in 30 seconds. And I thought maybe this guy's the next nerdy Habib or something like that. But I'm gonna go play Puelles route as well here. I don't think Chris Gruetzemacher is all that skilled. He's scrappy, and if Puelles struggles to get the fight to the floor, maybe gets caught in the pocket and exchanges a bit, could potentially see big shots landing. But I'm not on Grits for power either. He's not really the heaviest of hitters in the fight game. He's kind of a peppering shot guy who walks you down consistently. Puelles, the younger guy, faster, better grappler. He wins the fight. I'm going to lean decision, though. I do think we're going 3 here, but I'd like to see submission, too. The odds are super close for this fight as well. It's pick'ems. You're looking at plus 100 Puelles. Minus 120.
I'm gonna stick with submission. That's our disagreement there. But you know, it's definitely no easy customer to submit. Look, I just see those holes in the striking game as you do, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Sanford MMA you know, made a big difference in the striking. You know, that's a phenomenal gym to be training at. So yeah, I'm liking Claudio on this one.
Yeah, we're on the same team here. Some similar picks throughout this card, man. Let's keep on moving up. Oh my goodness, this next fight, I'm really excited, bro. It's Alonzo Menifield, William Knight. Alonzo Menifield came in big power, knockout artist. William Knight, big power, knockout artist. 2 big men. I feel like Alonzo Menifield, little bit more technical, though he ain't that technical. He throws that really weird, like, hammer fist right hand, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But if it touches the chin, it could hurt. William Knight needs 1 punch and he'll put your lights out. Menfield's been knocked out. Knight, he does have a knockout loss to Chukwi, but I watched that fight. It was kind of weird. I don't really think it was the best stoppage. I think Alonzo Menifield, fighting with a smart game, is going to play it safe. Stay on the outside, slowly pepper away at William Knight, look to clinch him up, potentially get him a little fatigued. William Knight, weakness in the game I've seen, if you can trip him to the floor and get side control or half guard, you can keep him on the ground. He's not super technical with his grappling. He uses power. For the first round, he's held to contain. Second and third, Menifield can get more going. I'm going to go Alonzo Menifield win by a decision in this fight. What about you?
You said it, my friend. These guys are powerhouses. I mean, they're mirrors of each other in the sense that whatever limb they throw at you, they're trying to knock your block off, man. This is, you know, no matter how sloppy either of these guys get, you can get smacked with a back fist and get knocked out by these dudes. So who knows if it's a knockout, who's getting the KO? I like what you said there. Menifield is a little more patient. Maybe the fight IQ is a little higher. I like him in this fight. I'll say he out grapples him. And that happens a lot, right? You get 2 KO strikers, and then one thinks they've got a wrestling grappling advantage. So they go through that hole. Hopefully Menifield does that. I'm going to pick him, and we'll stick with a decision. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some nasty ground and pound, man. Let me tell you what, both of these guys, when they get on top of you, they're trying to knock your block off there too. So I could see some ground and pound from either man. Menifield, I think, is going to win the grappling in this fight. That should be the difference.
Totally random note about William Knight. You know, he bench presses like 225, like 47 times. Like, this guy is literally freakishly strong. So that's why
I'm not surprised.
Dude, if you look, like, he'll throw you off of him without like a technical jiu-jitsu move. He's not using technique. He's using raw power. So for that first 4 minutes, I think that raw power really could work for him. But as it gets later, he's a heavily muscled guy. The cardio starts to set in. Menifield, we've seen go distance too, which I actually bring confidence in, like consistently going distance, getting some rhythm. I know Knight went distance against Un Jung and whatnot, but on the losing end of that one, I think Menifield fights with a smart game and gets the win. Betting side, not the fight I want to touch. Minus 175 Menifield, plus 140 Knight. We're going the favorite, but it's not a fight that I'm betting. One touch
Risky,
from William
man.
Knight, it's over. It's not a fight I'm betting.
You got it. There's a high risk situation when these two guys are throwing shots at each other. So I'm keeping my money in my wallet for this one as well.
Smart man, smart man. Let's keep on moving up the card. We have women's bout. Mallory Martin versus Cheyanne Vlismas, formerly known as Cheyanne Bays. Mike, what do you think about this matchup?
Look, Martin, I like her takedowns. If you guys saw her fight Macy Barber, she was actually taking Macy Barber down at will. It was pretty impressive. I don't like the fact that she continually gets caught in triangles. Like the more I study her and the more I watch her fights back, I'm just constantly seeing her get in these positions where her arm and her neck are in a spot and the other girls are just capitalizing on this all the time. If you saw her armbar loss, it actually was initially a triangle. She pulled out of the triangle and then got armbarred. So there's this consistent problem on the ground. I think that hole is so much of a problem that I'm going to pick against her. I think she could get a takedown in this fight. I think overall, it's going to be a competitive fight, but that jiu-jitsu hole is enough for me to pick against her. Until she cleans that up, I'm not putting my money to work.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm also gonna ride the Cheyanne Vlismas, aka Cheyanne buys. Like now that they changed the name, it threw everybody for a loop, man. Unfortunately, I think they got a divorce, man. JP and Cheyanne. It's one of those MMA love stories. It doesn't always end in a happy ending. That's how the fight game goes. But I do think that Vlismas gets the win in this fight. Decent pressure striking as well, but her and Mallory Martin are kind of similar in ways, like skill set wise, a little bit differences. Like I feel like a little more Thai boxing style with Martin on the feet, a little more kickboxing with Cheyanne on the floor. Potential opportunities, maybe I could see canceling each other out. Close fight. I think we're going distance. I think Cheyanne lands the better strikes, maybe has some moments on the ground, maybe. But we might be looking at just 3 rounds of competitive women's bout where it's super close. I like goes the distance. That's like the best pick for this one, but I am picking Cheyanne Vlismas to get it done.
Yeah, Cheyanne, I'll go Cheyanne decision. I think Cheyanne has the opportunity to submit her. And so Cheyenne submission's also, good pick to me.
Yeah, that's a solid one. Odds for this one, you're looking at -190 for Vlismas, over for Mallory Martin +160. I wouldn't bet the dog Martin here. Not for me. Who knows? Maybe the best woman win. I'm going on Vlismas, though. I'm with you, bro. We're both on Team Vlismas. Let's keep on running up this card, man. A lot of similar picks tonight, man.
Hey, well, in the main card, hopefully we'll disagree. I heard one of your picks earlier. I know we got one disagreement. That'll be fun. I'll leave everybody in suspense for what it is.
Don't tell him. Now, next one is Zhalgas Zhumagulov versus Manel Kape. For this fight, I really feel like Manel is starting to come into his own. As long as he can consistently stop the takedown and or get up from the ground. If he gets taken down, if he can find a way up, which I believe he will, he should beat Zhalgas Zhumagulov. Pretty good stand-up game for Kape. He's really fast, nice pressure. I really like when he pressures his opponents. He cuts off the cage well, nasty hooks. He's super explosive. He's got high-level fights in Ryzen, which I think carry over nicely. Zhumagulov's good. I am not sold on Zhumagulov, as that real top contender. He's got 2 losses, and his 1 win is against a guy who's not even in the UFC anymore, Jerome Rivera. I think Manel Kape wins by a decision, probably maybe a moment or 2 for Zhalgas. He's not a bad fighter, and one thing about Zhalgas that I do like is that he'll attack the body and then go up to the head and then chain the wrestling in, which gets you thinking all different levels, which could work. Manel Kape, though, so many advantages. He's quicker. He's the better striker. I think that his athleticism also leads the dance here. Win by decision, Manel Kape. What about you?
Biggest difference in this fight is speed. Whoa, is there a big difference in speed? Kape, when he threw that flying knee against Ode Osborne, came out of nowhere, man. It's phenomenal. Ode was changing levels a lot. If you guys remember that fight, Ode kept faking the shot, and Kape would completely sprawl, although they weren't even in the same zip code. Ode was definitely trying to just fake, get him thinking about that shot. And you know what Kape was thinking is, I'm going to knee this dude in the face. I'm going to knee this dude in the face. Boom, does it perfectly. I think that's the biggest difference in this fight is the speed between the two. Zhumagulov, just a little slow for me. When he punches, there's just these little moments where he seems to be open for a counter. I think Kape finds it. Kape by KO.
I love it. I want to see Kape get the KO. For me, if Kape gets the KO, that's a huge stock bump too. You get a finish against Zhumagulov. Guys have beaten him by decision before. You finish him, you knock him out, jumps your stock. I could see it leaning distance though, but as a fan of Kape, I'd like to see him get it done. I like Kape. And it's funny enough, Horiguchi fighting, Kape, Horiguchi, former foes, both rising guys. It shows, man, there's some savages at that 135-pound weight class, man. This fight's 25. Take that back. This fight's 25, but there's some savages overall all around the world. And I think Manel Kape, definitely one of them. Keep an eye on him at 25. I do think he's good. He's good enough to start breaking into some big fights if he can get through Zhalgas, especially if it's impressive.
Absolutely. And these lighter divisions are getting deeper and deeper. We were talking before the podcast about how the sport's evolving and getting better athletes and whatnot. It's getting a higher level, especially 125, especially 135, right? Look at how deep they are. And the main event's another example of that. We'll get to that, but these divisions are getting more and more competitive. A lot of humans actually do weigh like 150 pounds. And when they're really in shape, they're probably 140, and then they cut down to 135 or 125 to make weight. So you're getting more humans competing at that weight, right? There's only a couple thousand active pro MMA heavyweights. There's tens of thousands of active featherweights, bantamweights, right? So these divisions are getting deeper. That's definitely a good note for fans listening, is that you'll see a lot more talent through other organizations coming up, and the level is just exponentially better than 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's by a long shot. I mean, just a few years back, they're talking about cutting 125 out of the UFC. Now, you got guys on the rise at that weight class. I was really thankful they didn't. I was so happy because I like 25, man. You got crazy speed. You got these savages that maybe, if you're a shorter guy, you're probably not playing in the NBA. You're probably not playing in the NFL. You're probably not playing pro baseball. You got soccer. You got fighting. That's really your big two right there. And fighting's definitely a solid route to go.
Good point. These other sports are taking our big athletic guys. So Good point. I like that.
Now, the next one is interesting. It's Jake Matthews versus Jeremiah Wells. I want to get your take on this one.
Yeah, 100%. I like this fight a lot. Of course, Jake is coming off of the submission loss to Sean Brady. We saw Sean Brady get that W like I told you he would.
You did.
Yes, Sean Brady got it done. That was my lock too. So 1 for 1 on the lock picks.
Mine got canceled, bro. It's a no contest. It is what it is, man.
Convenience. He's an OG, man. He's been fighting since 2014. What the hell were you doing in 2014 in the UFC? I'm sorry. He's been in the UFC. He was in the UFC in 2014, left the UFC, came back to the UFC. So I was listening to him fight Leach, who just fought Hamzat, and Mike Goldberg was doing commentary. And I'm like, Mike Goldberg's doing commentary in the UFC? How old is this thing? Sure enough, way back. So the dude is actually an OG. He's underrated in that way. Fast hands when people kick or knee. So I like him in this fight. I think that he'll wait on the kick or the knee to come with an overhand right or a left hook. He's really good at it. Perfect time to showcase that. I'm going to go with him with a KO.
So you think he's going to take Jeremiah Wells? He's going to sleep him. Interesting, man. That's interesting.
I'll say definitely that Wells is a beast. Like, this is not, again, I keep my wallet in until I'm real sure. So when I give you guys these picks, I will let you know when I'm really confident. This one's definitely a pick 'em. This one's definitely a pick 'em. I'm not telling my mom to bust out the bank and bet on this one.
That's good. I'm on Jeremiah Wells. I'm going knockout. This guy has a round and a half of chaos. He hits really hard. He's explosive. He's chaotic. Yeah. He's crazy. Jake Matthews is good, though. He's technically sound. If Jake Matthews can really stay on that back foot and just avoid this savage for a round and a half, gas him out, I think then he works towards takedowns. I could actually see Jake Matthews getting a submission in the third round of a tired Jeremiah Wells. Still, though, I think Wells lands the death punch. I'm going to go first or second round knockout, leaning like first minute of the second round, Jeremiah Wells. It's more of maybe a Hail Mary prop, too. I mean, he's a solid dog. He's plus 160, Matthews minus 190.
I like Wells' explosiveness. Wells is insanely quick when he covers distance on people, like real fast twitch, right? You talk about fast twitch versus slow twitch athletes. Like slow twitch would be like a Nate Diaz, right? Fast twitch is Jeremiah Wells. The dude is dangerous. Make no mistake about it. He could end this fight by KO in 10 seconds. The guy has a big right hand, definitely powerful, and I like his athleticism advantage. They're certainly there in this fight.
And as a knockout prop, just to know, you can find it upwards of plus 550. Maybe a Hail Mary. You want to throw a little something down. You need to bet somebody that has some real power. Jeremiah Wells is the guy for that bet. Potential there. There is potential for that.
I like that, AJ. I like that. For 550, those are pretty good odds.
Yeah, that's money, right? Well, let's keep on running up. We have now the featured prelim. It's Maki Pitolo, Duško Todorović. You know, when Duško came over to the UFC, I think my expectations maybe were a bit too high. I fell into the hype train. He's a decent boxer, decent on top too. He's a little bit slow with his hands sometimes. I feel like there's like times that he doesn't bring them all the way back and there's openings. Maki Pitolo, though, pretty athletic kid. Decent on the ground, beat up Jamie Marquez for about, what was it, 2.5 rounds, and then he gets choked out at the end. I don't forget exactly what the finish was, but I know he got tapped. I feel like in this fight, Duško Todorović relies on the chin a bit. He's not going to get taken down by Maki Pitolo. I see pressure from him, potential striking exchanges. Maki might land some clean strikes. Maybe Duško comes with more power. Leaning Duško Todorović by a decision, not one I want to go throw cash at. How you feeling about this fight? Because it's a weird one.
Todorović knocked out Michael Pereira, right? Mr. Backflip freak athlete, right? He knocked him out, right? So he's definitely got the ability to do it. And Pitolo is aggressive, strong takedowns, likes to push the pace. Tough fight to pick, man. He was dominating Marquez in his last fight before getting stunned. If you watch that fight back, I mean, he was really beating him up. He was controlling it. He's getting takedowns, putting a lot of punches together. Tough one to pick, man. They really. This one I'd pick for fight of the night. How about that? This is a fight of the night candidate right here. Like you could flip a coin on this one, man. I have no confident picking this one. I'll go Pitolo, and I'll say he out wrestles him. He gets on top. You know, he does his thing. He's maybe a little more well-rounded.
I like it. I like it, man. It's one of those fights. I think it could really go either way. Action potentially, because with both these guys, you get pretty solid fights. Odds -170. Duško Pitolo +145. The records, I mean, 13-8 doesn't look good on paper, but Pitolo's better than that. And Duško 10-2, not all that great. Just he's got a 10-2 record, and he beat Michel Pereira, so he carries some real hype into his UFC fights. Right. I think that he gets it done maybe here. I'll say yes. I'm picking Duško. You're picking Pitolo. We're split on this one, and for good reason, because it is an intriguing fight that I think it could be super close here.
It's competitive, man. It might come down to this right here. It might come down to who has more heart. We're about to find that out in this matchup. I think these guys are going to push each other, man. Get your popcorn for this one.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Now, we've arrived at the main card. Smash the like button if you guys haven't yet. Turn those post notifications on and subscribe. Much love, guys. We appreciate you. First fight on the main card. Darian Weeks, Bryan Barberena. Let me hear your take. Late notice replacement, Darian Weeks. He was originally not on this card. It was supposed to be Bryan Barberena, Matt Brown. Unfortunately, COVID protocol.
Right. Barberena said he was playing video games. He was at home playing video games, and somebody on the chat was like, hey, sorry to hear about Matt Brown pulling out. He was like, what are you talking about? And then he got a text message, and they're like, hey, sorry, Matt Brown pulled out of your fight. Oh, shit, guys, I need to get off. So he said it hit him hard, and, he was upset about it. Him and Matt Brown is such a good fight. That would have been so much fun. There would have just been 4th of July fireworks on that fight, I was excited to see that, man. But here we are against Darian Weeks. Now, looking into Darian Weeks, he is a wrestler. He's a very physically strong guy. But I'm seeing some openings in his striking. I don't think his striking is too crispy, as you like to say, yet, so I'm not a huge fan of the hands. Can he out wrestle Barberena? It's possible. It's definitely possible. The problem is when I'm looking at Weeks, he's missing opportunities. Like there are opportunities for him to follow up with wrestling. For instance, when you shoot in on somebody like Khamzat did, right? And you saw Leach put his hips in, Khamzat then turns and comes up on the body lock and picks him up in the air and goes and finds Dana White. I'm not seeing Weeks make these transitions, one shot into the next, and he's really not following up very well. So I'm seeing some holes even in the wrestling. Barberena's side, dude's a dog. He is ready to go. He's a UFC vet at this point. I mean, he's already put in a lot of work in the UFC, already fought a bunch of tough guys. He's going to come in confident. For Weeks, he's coming in on a week's notice, I don't like him in this fight. I'm going to go Barberena. I think Barberena puts some hands on him, and I think Barberena is going to want to finish late. He might get it.
Okay. I'm not super high on Barberena. Lost to Jason Witt in that last one. Darian Weeks is just so inexperienced. He's got 5 pro fights, and now you're taking a fight against a guy who's been in the UFC for a long while. To me, you have to go with veteran. It's just dumb to go otherwise. Maybe somebody knows something about Weeks that we don't. Somebody in the camp knows. Maybe he's the next big thing. Maybe all those holes have been patched up. But as of right now, from what I've seen, I can't pick that. I'm going to go with you on Barberena. I'll pick win by decision, but when fighters take short notice, they tend to gas. I'm just not expecting a young guy 5-0 to not be training full time. So I'll pick decision, Barberena. Not one I want to go bet though. And I mean, Darian Weeks as a dog, who knows? Maybe he's got a fighting chance. Maybe he's the real deal here and he starches Barberena. I guess we'll find out.
Exactly. I could see there's a physical advantage that he has, right? He's just more muscular, more explosive, right? He has this physical advantage. The dude's hit the weights a lot more than Barberena has. Yes. Barberena's never seen the weight room. Okay. so that is an advantage, man. But Barberena, like you said, experience versus the 5-0. I'm 5-0 in MMA, but dude, I've never fucking fought in the UFC. When you get to that level, you gotta feel it. You know? So he'll probably be dangerous early, but I like Barberena's hands, man. I think he gets it done with his hands, gets a late TKO.
All right. I like it, bro. And odds for that one are actually closer than you'd expect. -120 for Barberena, +115 for Weeks. They're pretty close. For Barberena being as experienced as he is, they have the odds pretty close.
Yeah, that would be crazy, right? If you only looked at the records, if you only look, you're like 5-0. Why is he taking this fight? You know, it doesn't make sense in that sense. And then you got to add the short notice, AJ. Short notice. Barberena's in shape. He's been preparing for this fight. He was fighting Matt Brown. You know, he was ready to get elbowed in the face and to get, he was ready for war. So I think he's going to come in shape, man. I think Barberena's going to take this one.
I like it, bro. I'm with you there. Now, the next fight on the card, very fun middleweight fight. Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis. Chris, the fluke Curtis, the action man, gets the knockout of Phil Hawes and totally shakes up the world. He was losing that fight, and then boom, big shot. Brendan Allen on the opposite side, really showing improvements overall. I mean, he's 25, excellent on the floor. We already knew that. He tapped out Kevin Holland, several years back. Good stand-up game too, though. I mean, in the last one, he fought Punale Soriano, and he was actually able to sit on the feet and outstrike this powerhouse. Chris Curtis is a powerhouse, but he's a natural 170er. No chin issues with Brendan Allen. I expect him to put action on the action man. High pressure, potential grappling exchanges. I think Curtis will have the tools in the first round and a half to fend it off, but I think Allen will find a way to the back. I'm expecting submission here. Brendan Allen, I am going to lean second round for him.
I was thinking that exact same thing because Allen has a jiu-jitsu advantage in this fight. That's the biggest difference in this fight is probably the jiu-jitsu. And if Allen can get on top, or as you said, get his back, that's a big deal. Look, I like Chris Curtis. I've been friends with Chris Curtis on Facebook for like 8 years. So I'm not going to go out here on this podcast and pick against Chris Curtis, okay? But I will tell Chris, look, he wants to keep it on the feet. Chris Curtis should keep this fight on the feet. He should fight like Chuck Liddell used to do back in the day. Freaking double underhooks, get off of me. Let's get right back out to throwing the fisticuffs. I think Curtis does much better in striking exchanges with this fight. I think he'll win 2 out of 3 rounds by out kickboxing Allen and keeping Allen off of him. The tools for Allen should all be set up to distract him with strikes to get to that body. If Allen can get his hands clasped, I like the fight in the close quarters there for Allen. At distance, Curtis, in close, Allen. Let's go with my boy. I'll take a decision, close, split decision, tough fight. Of course, Allen's a tough customer. I just think he gets it done being a well-rounded mixed martial artist and having enough takedown defense to keep Allen off of him.
Okay. You're on team action, man. If he pulls off 2 wins like this in a row, I'm going to lose my mind. I mean, best of luck to your boy. I'm on Team Allen -350, Curtis about +270. It's a fun fight in the middleweight division. Big favorite, Allen. I mean, if Curtis can go back-to-back wins right here, I mean, might as well throw him in there against the champ. I mean, he might have a shot with all the good luck on his side, bro. He's like the real Lucky Charm, man.
Let's go. I like it. You spoke it into existence. Let's go.
I might have, bro. Now, the next fight on the card, Jimmy Crute versus Jamahal Hill. What are you thinking with these two?
Jimmy Crute versus Jamahal Hill is an awesome fight, dude. I've been watching these guys for a while. Jimmy Crute and Jamahal Hill are both coming back from injuries. So it's a bizarre timing, right, for both of them, right? You got Jamahal Hill, who obviously was submitted by Paul Craig. He had that arm bar that overextended. It was dislocated. That looked like the most broken arm I've ever seen in my life. But
I didn't know arms dislocate like that. I didn't know they dislocate like that. I thought that's a snap. I don't know, but they said dislocated.
It was
that's
disgusting.
What they said.
That was brutal, bro. I used to fight in cages myself. If I saw it, that just looked disgusting. That was one of the nastiest arm breaks I've seen. Sure enough, not even an arm break. Okay, so you've got him fighting Jimmy Crute. Now, Jimmy Crute was doing really well against Anthony Smith. If you remember that fight, he was fighting with one leg and he was still taking Anthony Smith down. He was still doing it on one leg. He couldn't even stand on the thing. His foot was going this way and that way. So one of the craziest like nerve damage type things I've ever seen. If you actually listen to Jimmy Crute, though, he was saying that even when he got out of the cage, his foot was fine. It was like a nerve thing that, when he was able to get back home, he like got right back to training. He was fine.
So it was
versus
more of like a one moment injury.
Right. If you look at Hill's injury, I really hope he took some time off. Holy,
4 months ago, bro. 4 months to bounce back.
Crazy.
4 months. That's nuts to me.
It's too quick. It's too quick, right? So the difference between the injuries is real. And I think that gives an advantage to Crute. I also think Crute's wrestling gives him a big advantage in this fight. I think he's gonna be able to take him down. And on the feet, he's no joke, dude. Crute is a powerful striker, man. And he's been getting better and better. He's definitely one of those guys who's growing every fight. I'm gonna go with Crute in this fight. I think he wins how he wants to. Look, Hill's a tough customer, but if Crute can get on top of him, put some ground and pound down, I like a TKO for Crute.
I like it, man. I'm on Crute too. I'm actually going to go submission. Same guy winning. I do think submission. Thinking second round. Looking at the fight, Crute on the feet. I don't know if he necessarily gets into trouble, but Jamahal Hill can stand up well. He's got some good speed. Coming off that injury, I don't know. That might affect his stand-up game a bit. And it's gotta do something to you to get your arm, dangly like that, right? But he's taking it fast. I think Crute finds a way. Gets inside, potential striking exchanges. Still, I feel like Crute might have moments on the feet, but not enough to really hurt, Jimmy Crute. I mean, if you look at Jamahal Hill, good punching pop, but not necessarily the heaviest of hitters. You got decent straight punches. Jimmy Crute, good chin, can eat some straight punches coming at him to get his takedown. I think he takes a couple to get inside. He gets on top. I think he works from there. It might be first round submission. To be honest, I'm leaning first round. I said second, but I'm really leaning first the more we talk about this one. I think it's the Jimmy Crute show here. Dominant performance and confident pick as well. I love Jimmy Crute.
Yeah, this should be a good showcase for Crute. I like this fight for him. Definitely dangerous on the feet, but he's the more well-rounded guy. I think that shines in this fight.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Odds for this one, actually not that widespread. -180 for Jimmy Crute, +155 Jamahal Hill. That's interesting. I'm on Team Crute.
We're talking about keeping the money in the wallet. You might think about pulling the money out of the wallet on this one, man. Yeah. I'm pretty confident in Crute.
Yeah, same. Good dude. This is a fantastic card, man. I'm pumped.
Top to bottom.
Featured bout of the night, Clay Guida, Leonardo Santos. Mike, how do you feel with these two?
All right. I was saying, whenever I know a guy, I try to let you know I'm biased. Dude, I have known Clay Guida since I was a child. Okay. Clay Guida used to fight in the XFO. I remember his brother it might've been his teammate. I don't know. Somebody got kneed in the nuts. Clay Guida jumps the fence in the XFO, goes in there. It's all chaos. I'm like 12 years old, dude. That's how long I have known Clay Guida. We come from the same area, Northern Illinois. So he was always around all those events. He's definitely like a local celebrity, always there. So I am the most biased Clay Guida guy ever. That being said, this is a tough fight for him. He needs to stay away from the big right hands, the range. I think the range is the biggest deal in this fight. If Clay Guida can close that distance and make this a grappling fight, although the jiu-jitsu is something to beware of, I like Clay out wrestling people, especially in you only have 15 minutes with him. Clay scores a lot of takedowns. He likes to be super, super active. Anybody who's seen Clay Guida fight before, they know exactly, what I'm talking about. Clay Guida loves to change levels and shoot, and he'll do it 20 times in a round if he needs to. And let me also say this for Clay. He won that last fight. I thought that was really close against the Olympian Mark Madsen.
That was impressive. Yeah.
I thought Clay looked pretty good, dude. I think Clay actually won 2 out of 3 rounds there. I didn't like that decision. So Leonardo Santos likes to fight from a range. He would rather fight him right out here. So Santos is going to try to keep him back here, and Clay's got to move that crazy hair around, get on the inside, right? So it depends on where this fight takes place, what real estate, what zip code are they fighting in. If they're in the same zip code and Clay's on him, I like Clay in this fight. If Clay can't close that distance on Santos, you got to think Leonardo Santos has just dynamic punching, good striking, able to be enough of a threat. So obviously I'm going with my guy Clay Guida. I'm gonna say Clay goes ahead, gets 10 takedowns in this fight, makes it ugly, makes it a normal Clay Guida fight, gets the decision.
I respect. You have to go with your guy. I get it. And Clay's good. I think honestly, it's closer than people are making it out to be. I still think Leonardo Santos does win from range. He has the advantage, but the jiu-jitsu is dangerous. If I'm Clay Guida, I'm not shooting doubles on Leonardo Santos. If you look at fights where Clay's also got in trouble, I mean, the guillotine has been a weakness for Clay Guida in the past. We've seen him choked out a few times. I feel like this one is Leonardo's fight winning on the distance. I feel like we're probably going 3. I think Clay does have his moments. I think in the clinch, I think we might be a little surprised by Santos's pure strength. I feel like when he fought Grant Dawson, I don't know, he looked pretty decent in that fight up until obviously the end, unfortunately getting stopped. I think decision, Leonardo Santos. I think the range will be a factor. I think the jiu-jitsu threat limits Clay Guida's wrestling offense, and potential takedowns for Clay are definitely going to be there. I'll go decision. I'll go Leonardo Santos wins by a decision. Fun fight. I'm excited to see these. Oh, geez.
What Clay Guida fight is not a fun fight? Right. Come on, man.
I can't remember one. I can't. And odds are not bad either. -190 Santos, +160 Guida. We got different picks, both on the opposite ends here, but not super widespread. Both these guys older too for the fight game. 41 Santos, 39, nearly 40 for Clay Guida. That's interesting. That's a factor because Clay Guida's birthday is just 2 days after the fight, and he'll be 40. So essentially 2 40-year-olds going in there in the lightweight division.
I know, and in the lightweight division specifically, right? Because I think we kind of see some older heavyweights, light heavyweights have some success. Hey, Glover Teixeira, you ever heard of that guy before? He's had some success, right? But in the lightweight division where they're fast, it's interesting to see them still at the top level, man. I love seeing Clay in there all these years, dude. I remember him fighting Roger Huerta in the main event of fight nights, and he's always been up there, always been exciting. What a fun guy to watch fight. I think they'll be no different on Saturday. It'll be fireworks and fun as usual.
And may the best man get the victory between these two longtime vets in the fight game. Co-main event, Rafael Fiziev, Brad Riddell. I'll take the gate on this one. Okay, with Rafael Fiziev, you have a monster Muay Thai striker. Brad Riddell, you have a monster kickboxer. Both these guys fought in the professional ranks, have good records in pro kickboxing. I'm going to list them. I have them written down here because it's a factor. In Muay Thai, Rafael Fiziev was 29-4. In kickboxing, Brad Riddell is 59-10. Assuming those records are accurate, I'd say they're pretty close. They might be missing a couple, but I believe that's the records. That's what's listed online. Riddell, I do think, has adapted his wrestling a bit nicely for MMA. He sometimes mixes it in and can surprise people with that. He also has a proven gas tank. Against Drew Dober, he got cracked by some big shots. Drew Dober's a tank. Fiziev, also a tank. The first round, I'm picking Fiziev. Second round, I think that you're going to see the penultimate round being the key round. Third round, Riddell wins. So who wins that second round, I believe wins the fight. I feel like it's Riddell. I definitely think he finishes stronger. If I had to place a bet on who wins the third round, I think it's Brad Riddell. I'll pick him to win, potential split decision. It's going to be a damn close one and a fight that I cannot wait to see. What do you think?
I love that breakdown, AJ. This you can hear if you listen to Brad Riddell, you can hear in his voice. He knows this is going to be a tough fight. They've actually sparred before. I think it was 5 years ago. Both from
Tiger Muay Thai at one point, man. So they've both been in the similar circles. They both are in that stand-up game at the high levels.
You got it. And you know what? You made a good point, a really good one I want to highlight, which is that Riddell has really been able to mix in the striking and the grappling a little bit better than Rafael Fiziev. And I think that that's going to be a big deal. You know, if he can possibly just out grapple him a little bit, just a little bit, it's going to give him a big edge, get some blood in those big muscles of Fiziev, make him a little slower, right? We saw Bobby Green have a little bit of success. You know, he made it a fight. It was definitely
That
a fight
third round.
I
I thought he won too. He definitely won the third. So interesting.
Fiziev in that one. I gotta look at that one back for you. I gotta look that one back for you.
We gotta rewind. I think Fiziev won the fight.
Close.
I agree. Third round though, I do think.
Off
the top of my head, I think that Bobby Green did take it, which is a factor, right? Is Fiziev potentially slows a little bit, whereas Riddell, I kind of see like steady pace, and then in the third round, he's still fresh. But let's continue with your points, though, bro.
I like how you said you even broke it down by the rounds, you know, and that's exactly right. Fiziev first round, super dangerous. It's just Riddell's really got to watch out for the slip hook, right? For Fiziev's power and it's kind of an awkward striking style that he has. You know, he likes to move his head real far one way and then come right back into the pocket. So I think Fiziev is going to catch him. I think Fiziev is going to hurt him. I think Riddell is tough enough to survive that and come back and have a strong finish to the fight. I see it playing out just like you put it, actually. I'm gonna be on the side of Fiziev. I think Fiziev's striking and power advantage is his striking's just better enough, and his power is significantly better. I feel like that's going to be enough to keep Riddell off of him. For Riddell to win this fight, I hope we see the wrestling come out. I hope we see him level change. If you remember that Drew Dober fight, actually, you just said it, of course. He got rocked, dude. And Fiziev is definitely a guy you don't want to get hit by, because he's going to put a lot more on you, and he's really used to it. He's really used to cooking guys, cooking them, putting them away. You know, two great strikers, two great mixed martial arts fighters. I absolutely love the fight. It is the most risky Rafael Fiziev fight I've seen in the UFC. Every other fight I've been pretty damn confident in him. I actually train a guy who put like many thousands of dollars on him previously. Like, so I'm around people who are fans of Fiziev, I believe, as you said it. I'm going to stick with my guy. Okay. I do like it, but Riddell, tough customer. I'll make this prediction. You guys will see both of these guys challenge for the title. You will see both of these guys stay at the top of the division. Very good fight.
I like the confidence in these guys too, man. I think they both have the it factor, coming from high level striking games and adapting it well. The biggest thing that I wonder is both guys strikers, both guys having trained at Tiger Muay Thai. Is it a little bit like, we're not going for takedowns, let's see who's got the better striking? If Riddell mixes in the wrestling, I do think that does lead the way, but ego could get in the way, and we could see him just want to strike. And I mean, Drew Dober put him down. If Fiziev touches your chin, he's probably putting you down too. But I'm on Team Riddell. You're on Fiziev. Great fight.
By the way, Drew Dober's a dog. All right. He might not have looked good against Islam Makhachev, but Drew Dober's really good. Yeah. So we keep saying he got dropped by Drew Dober. Drew Dober's a tough customer, man. I'd get dropped by Drew Dober too. So shout out to Drew Dober. He's one of the best in the world as well. I think these guys are really high level. I think MMA doesn't respect them as much as they will in 5-10 years when these guys really show us what they're made of. I think these guys are two of the best fighters in the world. Badass fight.
I'm excited, bro. And odds for this one, about pick'ems, you got Fiziev -115 favorite. You have Riddell -105 dog. So essentially even money here in what is a fantastic co-main event between hot prospects with real contender in the future implications. Because I mean, 30-year-old Riddell, 28-year-old Fiziev, they got time. They got a lot of time.
Yep. 100%, man. I'm excited. I'm a fan of both guys. So may the best man win. But Fiziev with the power, he might even get a knockout in this fight. You know, I like it a lot. Hey, I hope you're talking to Riddell, because that is the game plan he needs, right? Mix it up. Don't get into a slugfest. It's not Tiger Muay Thai anymore, right? I think the MMA fighter Riddell will come out. He's smart. Let me comment on that. He's got a good fight IQ. I definitely respect that. And if he mixes it up in this fight, he's got a great shot. Odds are perfect. That makes perfect sense. Pick 'em fight. It's the way it should be.
I'm pumped. In the main event, guys, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, turn the post notifications on. Let us know what you think of the Moneyline podcast. Let us know your picks in the comments too. And let's talk about the main event. It's Rob Font, Jose Aldo. Mike, I will give you the microphone for this main event. Let me hear your thoughts.
Let me grab the microphone here for this main event. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a badass fight on our hands, okay? Jose Aldo was the best leg kicker in MMA. If you guys remember back when he would just dominate fights with low kicks, right? He'd throw something out there to get you to look at it. Wham! He'd start taking that leg out. You'd start getting worried about that leg kick. All of a sudden, left hooks, right hands were coming down the pipe. If he revives that leg kick, he will have such success against Font. Guys, Cody Garbrandt, one of the worst leg kickers in MMA, was killing him with the kick. If you guys watch, what's the first couple strikes that Garbrandt found on Font? It was the low kick, and they were hurting him, right? Font started picking that knee up, started worrying about that low kick. The way to deal with somebody with a really good jab, Rob Font, is to throw a low kick on them. Why? This is why. Because when you jab, you do what, AJ? You step, right? AJ's had a kickboxing fight in a boxing match, so I know he knows the answer. You step when you throw a jab, yes? Every time you step, your weight transfers onto the front foot. It's available for a kick. If Jose Aldo can please just revive those leg kicks, bring them back for this fight, I love the matchup for him then, because you know what? Who moves their head better side to side, especially early when they're fresh, than Jose? Jose's got that fast switch side to side movement, perfect for avoiding a jab. You know, I really think they're going to train well for that good, strong jab that Font has. Font just comes, it's simple, puts pressure on you, tucks the chin, keeps the hands up high, throws the one, bangs the two down the pipe. I really think that Jose Aldo is a bad matchup for him, man. I don't like the matchup for Font. I like Font in this sense. This is the one sense that I like him in this fight. He's good for 5 rounds. Font looked really good in 3, 4, 5 against Garbrandt. You know, when he got actually pushed and had to take a real vet deep, his cardio is tremendous and he's on fire. You know, he's more confident than ever. If you guys listened to him at the pre-fight press conference, he was actually giving Jose Aldo a lot of credit and whatnot, and talking about how he watched him coming up. So, you know, I think Font has his head in the right spot. I think he's humble enough to know not to take too much risk, right? I think he's very aware of the style of Jose Aldo. When you watch so many hours of somebody, right? I have a real feel for what Jose Aldo does because I've studied him so much. I know Font is the same way. So Font might be ready for the leg kicks. Font might be ready for the head movement. What is he going to do? Is he going to grapple with Jose? Is he going to take Jose down? I don't think he's going to take Jose down, dude. Jose Aldo has the best takedown defense I've ever seen. I mean, it is incredible. If you watch the Chad Mendes fights, the way Jose just explodes when you hit his hips. And as soon as his butt hits the mat, boom, he's up right away. You know, I was watching that old highlight. The UFC just posted it where Chad Mendes was on his back, right? And Chad's on his back and he peels the hands, turns around and just knees him right in the face. Jose Aldo is an athlete and a half, man. What a freak. Is he past his prime, AJ? That's the question.
I'll say no.
No,
regardless of what Habib says, no.
2 primes, Habib, 2 primes. You can give some examples of this 2 primes thing, by the way, but regardless, I'll focus back in on the fight. Jose Aldo, if he can move his head off the center line, if he can not get eaten up by that jab too much, if he throws his low kicks a little bit, hey, maybe Jose, think about grappling. Jose has a jiu-jitsu black belt. He's phenomenal on the ground. He just doesn't show us very often because in his mind, he's the best striker in the world. Let me say one more thing in Jose's favor. Boxing team. He's on the Brazilian national boxing team now, or he's training with them, I should say. That's excellent. That's excellent. He needs to be able to outbox Font. If he can deal with Font's boxing, I love Jose Aldo in this fight. I am a Font fan. I do believe Font is going to be good late. If Jose is not able to put a lot of damage on him, I could see him coming on strong late. So if it's Font, I'll go decision. With Jose, though, I think Jose starts really adding up strikes in this fight, starts taking that kick out, maybe gets a finish, 2, round 3, could potentially put Font away. Of course, Font being a tough customer. I like Jose Aldo in this fight. A lot of smart money is on Font. My money's on Jose Aldo.
I like it. Well, with all you saying that, you're selling me over here, but I am on the opposite side. I'm on the Font train. And reasons being is we've seen less leg kicks from Aldo. When Jose Aldo chops the legs, he's a different animal. My concern is that, is he going to now turn that back up? Is he going to really bring that game? He hasn't shown it. Another factor that does kind of concern me is 5 rounds. Aldo is the king of the 3-rounder. I think if this is a 3-round fight, it's the Aldo pick. He can keep the pace a little bit higher, but know that he doesn't have to go longer. He's going to be dealing with a lot of peppering shots from Font. The good thing about Font is he's not a guy that needs the knockout, as you mentioned, right? He can go distance. He's got a gas tank and a half here.
Yeah.
I think Rob Font with straight punches, but cautious of the low kick. If Aldo can get the low kick going, might be live betting the opposite way. I'm going to stay with Font, win by a decision. I think it's a very difficult fight for him. I, as a fan, would not be disappointed with the Jose Aldo win, because that sets up Jose Aldo TJ Dillashaw, which is a fight that I think everybody is interested in seeing, because I mean, you have the former 45 versus the former 35 champ. That's a pay-per-view co-main event right there. 5 rounds it would have to be too if they do it. I'll pick Font, but as a fan, I think we lean Aldo for sure. The 5 rounds is just something that concerns me. Even down a weight class, you know, that Petr Yan fight, though earlier in Aldo's career down a weight class, gas is a bit towards the end. That's kind of where we see with third, he starts slowing. Like back in the day, I remember Joe Rogan would say Jose Aldo's the best fighter in the world for 3 rounds. And then 4 and 5, he struggles. If Font can take that third round, 3, 4, and 5 could go his way. He gets a hard fought decision. I'm going to go Team Font. But although obviously some great cases made for him, and this is a true fans fight right here. Like this is the real main event that we've been waiting for, and it's for free. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And we were talking about fight of the night earlier. Come on, this could be definitely a fight of the night. This is a badass fight. I really think it matters what the strategy is for Jose. As long as he employs his full Muay Thai game, I'm a big fan. If he just boxes with Font, I don't know that that'll be enough. I could see the fight playing out like you said. So it really matters the strategic choices that both of these guys make. AJ, let me ask you this. Does the whole fight happen on the feet? Is it a kickboxing fight?
I think majority. I think maybe a little bit of clinch exchanges, but I don't think a ton. I think Aldo knows Font's a high-level striker. Not saying ego gets the best of him, but he wants to outbox the boxer too. I do wonder, and we were texting about this before, why did Aldo get away from the kicks? He stopped low kicking. It's just totally like removed, I think, the best part of his game at one point. I think it could be a little bit getting in his head. Maybe there's a shin injury we don't know about, seeing a lot of guys snapping their shins. Maybe he's like, man, I can't be throwing those beams. If there's any fight that he should take the risk of snapping the shin, it's this one. Because to beat Rob Font, you have to beat up the legs, because the straight punches are off the charts. Some of the best jabs in MMA.
You got it, man. And you know what? If he has a speed advantage, it'll come in big handy against Jose. I don't know that he does. That's the thing when you move down weight classes, right? Are you going to now be slow? Are you now the slow guy? Jose didn't look like that in his last fight, man. Jose looked good. So I think, you know, it could have maybe been like an injury is why he stopped kicking. You know, this is all speculation, of course. Journalists have asked them and they're kind of dodged the question. You're right. I think if he could just start teeing off on that lead leg, the whole world will start opening up for him. Because now if Font's got to pick that lead leg up, if every time he's throwing, Font keeps having to do this, guess what happens to Font's boxing? It's not as effective anymore, right? He can't plant his feet and throw strikes confidently because he's always worried about that freaking low kick. It changes the whole fight. Jose, kick his legs for us and give me some money, man. I'm going Jose Aldo with a TKO.
Love it. I love it, bro. I'm going Font decision, but it could go either way. I can't wait for the fight. Now, odds for this one, we'll give them to you real quick. -145 Font, +125 Aldo. So if you're on Team Aldo, you're getting plus money for the legend, which is interesting, right? That's a good potential dog play, regardless of what side you're on here. Overall, fantastic card. You know how we got to finish it. This is the money line. What is your money line play?
Look, guys, a lot of good fights on this card. I'm that close to telling you Jose Aldo, but man, he's got a tough customer in Rob Font. So let's go with Jimmy Crute over Hill. I think Crute gets the takedown in that fight, and once he gets the takedown, he should be able to take it over. I think the odds are wrong in that matchup. I like Crute, guys. If you're busting the wallet out, maybe a Crute Aldo parlay wouldn't be too crazy. I like Jimmy Crute in this fight. Let's go Jimmy Crute getting it done, TKO or submission. Just go money line down for Crute.
I like it. I'm with you. Jimmy Crute is my play too. So we're on the same thing there. -180. I think it's a fantastic bet and a bit of a steal too. Overall, we got a sweet card. There's money to be made. There's action to be enjoyed. I cannot wait to see this event. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the money line. Make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, keep it locked in at MMA Experts. Now, Mike, let them know where to find you.
Mike Finch MMA on Instagram. You guys can check me out there. I also have a YouTube channel as well. If you want to go check out all my content, interviewing Stipe Miocic and Eddie Bravo. And there's a bunch of stuff on there, guys, at Mike Finch. You just type in Mike Finch MMA. I'm sure all my stuff will pop up. You can see me getting some fist fights with people too. If that's what you'd like to see, if you want to see me get punched in the face, you can do that. Go ahead and check me out on Instagram too, because I was just at Yosemite National Park. Anybody who's ever been there, it is insane. You can see me standing on a cliff, having a lot of fun. And then last thing, I'm here for Bellator this week. I'm actually in Connecticut. So if you guys want to keep up with some Bellator behind the scenes stuff, you can see that on my story. I'm here for Horiguchi and Pettis. Guys, you got Horiguchi and Pettis, Bellator on Friday. You got the UFC Aldo versus Font on Saturday. It's just a lovely weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the festivities.
Let's go. Let's go. I can't wait for it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the Moneyline episode 2. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Much love to everybody watching. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all so much, and we will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.